All right, so now it's time to create a new customer. So where to start, where to start? All right, so I don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We're going to keep edit up because I can just copy all of this. So let's do that to start with. I'm going to copy all of that, and we're going to make a new view, a new page, which is going to be add customer. Add customer.blade.php. Okay, and then we're going to paste all of that information in here. So let's make the appropriate changes. Add, okay. Some things that we don't have. Let's see, we're going to change this up for a moment. It's going to be, we'll look at that in a moment. Not quite sure what to do with that. We're going to replace all of these fields. They need to be blank, right? Because we don't know who the customers are, so we're not putting a value in there. So to make my life easier, I'm just going to copy that, and then get rid of all of our hard-coded, not hard-coded, but all of our variables that are editable, like when we use the same form to edit our customers. So we had values for the customer we were editing, but now we don't. So this is technically a blank form. All right, I'm going to get rid of this because I certainly don't need that. And we're going to have to figure out what's going to go in here. So now we're doing an update. And so this is a new customer. So let's see what update is. So if I'm doing a new one, let's see, what will I be utilizing? I'm guessing that I will use update. So that actually doesn't sound right because update is what we use to update. So let's see what else we have here. This is what we need. Customers store. So we're going to store a new customer. And that is going to be a post request. So up here, I'm going to have it called store. That's where I'll save that. That's a function that's going to save our data. And now we're using a post. So technically, we should have this wired up correctly. So we've got a blank customer, and we're going to fill in data. And when the customer hits the button, or not the customer, but whoever's inputting the customer, hits the submit button, we're going to send a post request to our controller store function. All right, so I think that this also might be a good candidate for a menu item. So let's add this to our nav. So on my nav blade, I'm just going to copy this. And let's see. So this is going to be add customer. Maybe that's singular. And what will my route be? Let's see. So if I'm adding one, I probably am going to utilize create. So that's a get request. That makes sense. Get and then create a new customer. So this will be customers and then create. So that should pull up this form, this page. Okay, well that's the goal, which means that we're going to have to go into our controller and update our create function. So in our controller, I need to find the create. There's the store, so that's what we'll be using to save the data. And so for create then, we are going to be returning a view, and the view that we're returning is pages and add customer. Okay, so that part should be wired up. That's fairly straightforward. Let's see how we do. So if I refresh, I've got an add customer and I've got a blank customer. So that looks good so far. And then when I hit submit, it should be posting the data here. So we should be able to let's for the short run do something like return store, just so I can see that it's working. And so now probably need to refresh this page, submit and restore, so I know that it's coming here. So that's good. All right, so now we need to, in fact, I'm going to add just one little thing just so you know you can. I'm going to close my edit because I don't need the edit anymore. So on my add customer, just so you know, I mean, this is a small little thing, but a reiteration of things we've done before. So when we had this array here, that was an array of attributes. So maybe another attribute that we could put in here is something like, I'll put in placeholder as an attribute holder, and in that placeholder we put that in light gray what the customer or whoever's entering the form should know about this particular field. So in other words, enter first name, for example. And so if I do that, then I've got enter first name, and remember that doesn't count as a value, so that doesn't get sent over in the request. It's just informational piece, so you could add the rest of that if you want. But anyway, I was just putting that in as thought. All right, so this portion is done because we've got the store, we've got everything here wired up. Now we just have to do the save. And here's the super cool part. This is going to be so easy because we've already done most of the work. So I'm going to go to where we did the update, and except for finding, because I'm not finding a customer, why do I have that in there twice? That's a great question. I don't know. Anyway, let's just erase it while we're here. We don't need it twice. All right, so I'm going to just copy all of this information and the save and even the redirect. That seems good. And we're going to put that into the store. So instead of returning store now, we're going to return the data. All right, and so we're getting the data from the request, but what we aren't doing is creating a customer is currently nothing. There's no, it's a blank object. It was a null object. It wasn't even created. So let's create it with customer, and then this time we're just going to create a new object equals a new customer. Okay, and so now the rest of that should just work. So the only thing we're not doing is taking into account that they've left something null, but we'll deal with that another time. So for now, let's just see if we can get our add to work. So just to get a refresh, I'm going to add, I think it's refreshing itself. There we go. I don't know why it took so long, but let's add Indiana Jones. I think I've already added him in a test one, so I better add somebody new. Who should I add? Tinkerbell, and maybe she actually married Mr. Pan, and a version that wasn't publicized. And then the address is Never Neverland, 1414 Neverland, and that's in the city of Make Believe, BELIEV at Disney. And the zip code is 2345. Okay, so let's see if it actually saves. So we say submit, and sure enough, everything is just going to flow. So there's Tinkerbell. If I click on Tinkerbell, there's the information. Looks like I spelled Never Neverland not the way I wanted to. So never, maybe I can fix that now. Never Neverland, there we go. And submit that. So I should have the change and Tinkerbell, and boom. So there you go. So now we have successfully added customers.